So this, I think the lockdown diary was one of the remarkable aspects of the Wuhan lockdown period. You know, later on, we have seen pandemic diaries being produced all over the world, and more recently in Shanghai. But no, only in Wuhan did we see such large volumes of diary writing, and also diary writing that persisted for the duration of the 76 lockdown period. In Shanghai, for instance, recently, we didn't see many diary posting at all in the early period of lockdown. And only, I think, after the Shanghai situation became more of a serious crisis did we begin to see some diary posting. And those diary postings were not kind of daily posting. People suddenly posted, let's say in early April, people in Shanghai, some people began to post diaries that they had written in March. A week or 10 days of diaries posted as one batch. That was very different from the diary posting practice in Wuhan. In Wuhan, diary entries were posted every day. You know, according to some diary scholars, a diary has to be posted. You know, a diary has to be a piece of writing, a daily record, a series of daily records. If you write a diary entry for one day and stop writing, that's not a diary, that's a relic. If you have to post it one day after another for, you know, for some, at least for some days consecutively. So when Wuhan residents began to post diaries, they were very conscious of why they were doing this. Some of them wrote explicitly about why they were writing diaries, first of all. And I quoted some of this in my book. They, you know, many of them felt that this was such an extraordinary event. I had to document the experience. This is not only personal experience, but it would be important historical experience. There's somehow extraordinary awareness of the historical significance of that event from the very beginning. So that's one kind of consideration from some diarists. Many people really started writing as a way of managing personal life on a daily basis. That's the original intention, one of the original functions of diary writing. Diary writing as a daily practice was really a kind of daily regimen to manage our lives, you know, whether it was in the 18th century, 19th century, or 20th, 21st centuries. Diary writing has that very important function. It is to manage your personal life by meticulous, you know, again, some people documenting the personal life in very meticulously, others in very concise, brief terms. But that kind of documentation is a way of sorting out your emotions, sorting out your thoughts, planning the future, tomorrow, next day, you know, next week. It's a daily account of your activities, and it's a way of self-management. This became particularly important in a time of crisis like the lockdown, because there were so many uncertainties. So that's an important function. And related this was, of course, it was a way of managing your emotions, because there was so, you know, and still, right, so many complex emotions, anxiety, fear, you know, complex emotions, ups and downs, mood swings. You write down, you write about this in your diary, and that also helps you to sort out your feelings. That's another part of this. But very importantly, of course, these diaries, unlike many diaries in the past, were shared on social media. And I think you may feel like this is rather surprising, but it is in one sense. As you said, diaries used to be private, but it is also not surprising in the sense that we've been doing this all the time since social media become part of our life, because our daily social media postings are a sort of diary posting, because we post we write about, we share very with friends and strangers, right? Very personal things and feelings that we used to write about only in our private diaries. We've been sharing them on social media for a long time. So in that sense, it's not surprising either. But the sharing, as you suggested, hinted really, is important in the sense that it has important social functions, both for the diary writers themselves and for those who read or view their diaries. I mean, viewed meaning there are also some video diaries. They are important for the authors themselves, in the sense that there was usually a lot of feedback from the readers in various kind of in various forms, likes, right? It's the social media practice of interaction. That kind of interaction in a time of isolation, in a life of quarantine, can be empowering for the individuals, for the individual authors. But of course, there were unintended consequences as well, and we can talk about this later, because the most famous diary writer, Fang, got attacked for her diary. So those important impact, very meaningful for the authors themselves, but also meaningful for the readers, in the sense that readers found in these diaries experiences similar to theirs. So you get a sense of identification. And whenever we find, experiences similar to ours or different from us, it's a kind of both. It's a means of connection, right? We feel connected with others, but in other times we feel that our horizon broadens a little bit, because we see, wow, this person is managing his or her daily life somewhat differently from my own, right? And there are things I can learn from these people, and these are details that some diarists wrote about. They learned by reading. They learn from other diaries, and they also, I think, derived kind of emotional strength from these. And in addition, diary communities appeared, in a very loose, sense, because whether people posted their diaries on WeChat public account or on Weibo, if there are a lot of followers and people shared comments, sometimes the readers themselves started interacting, and there was a sense of at least temporary episodic diary community, which again was very important. The kind of to have a sense of community in a time of lockdown and isolation was really important at that time. So yeah, it's extremely important. Diary writing, extremely important part of the experience. That's why I wrote. I have one chapter on diary writing.